What's up guys, Ted from Nerd Immersion here, and I am back to cover the last bit of the new Guildmasters Guide to Ravnica book, and that is NPCs by Guild, or the NPC section. I did the monsters in the overall What's New in Ravnica video, so this is going to break this down further, and we're just going to get the NPCs out of the way. You're going to have to bear with me if I butcher names, or I'm not as excited as you guys are who are fans of Ravnica and Magic. Again, reminder that I don't actually know anything about this. I don't play Magic, and I haven't in years. So any of this stuff that people are super jazzed about, I'm coming at it with fresh eyes as a D&D player. So you'll have to tell me in the comments below who these people are and why they're super significant. I've done a little bit of a cursory glance, but I'm focused mainly on the stat blocks rather than the lore. So let's take a look. So first up, we have a soldier. That's just a standard generic thing here, right? But I believe soldiers were printed in Volo's Guide to Monsters, and similar to the goblins at the beginning, they need to be reprinted in this so you have it all as one source. So these are the Azorius NPCs. And again, they say there's a couple other ones here, right? Soldier appears in this chapter, Knight or Veteran. Maybe Soldier is new. We'll just take a quick look, right? It's a 18 AC with chainmail and a shield, a longsword wielding person, CR 1/2. Actually, not that bad, right? 16 HP, 18 AC, doing a D8 plus 2 damage and making 2 attacks. That's a pretty decent enemy. This was something that I would probably use as like your city guard or your town guard for most campaigns in lower level. These people aren't bad. They could mess up a party if you roll well. And they have advantage on saving throws against being charmed, frightened, grappled, or restrained while they're within at least 5 feet of an ally. Again, city guard, city watch mentality. And, you know, proficiency in perception and athletics. Perception to catch those sneaky players, and athletics to maybe grapple. Alright. Let us move on. So, Asperia, I'm guessing, is like... Okay, Asperia is the Guildmaster of the Azorius Senate. So, pretty powerful, right? Gargantuan monstrosity, lawful neutral. Looks like some sort of a Sphinx-type character, maybe? CR 21, right? So this is like, you'll see that these guild masters are pretty powerful. Fly speed of 60 speed, or fly speed of 60 feet, 261 HP, 17 AC. Stats are pretty good. We've got above average intelligence and wisdom. Saving throws and everything except strength and charisma, arcana, history, insight, perception, plus 15 on perception. Immune to psychic and bludgeoning, piercing, slashing from non-magical attacks. Immune to charm and frightened, has true sight and a passive perception of 25. Speaks common in Sphinx, so there you go, Sphinx. Innate spellcasting with a wisdom save DC, or with a save DC of 23, and can innately cast imprisonment twice per day, requiring no material components. Inscrutable is immune to any effect that would sense her emotions or read her thoughts, as well as any divination spell that she refuses. Insight checks made to ascertain her intentions are at disadvantage. 3 legendary resistance, magic resistance. You're going to see legendary resistance and magic resistance is a pretty common thread throughout all of these. Then we have a 15th level spellcaster with a spell save DC of 23 and a plus 14 to hit for spell attacks. We've got guidance, light resistance, sacred flame, thaumaturgy, which is for some reason not tool-tipped. That is a D&D Beyond mistake. So looking like a cleric based on this. Command, detect evil and snaring strike, sanctuary, shield of faith. Arcane lock, I guess not. It's like a cleric wizard mixture. Arcane lock, augury, calm emotions, hold persons, silence, zone of truth. Bestow curse, clairvoyance, counterspell, dispel magic tongues, divination, locate creature, dispel evil and good, scrying, word of recall, divine word, and anti-magic field. So mostly cleric-like, and not a ton of straight-out damaging spells. Seems like this is most learning of people and information gathering, although there is divine word, which can take people out. 2 claw attacks, or she can cast a spell with a casting time of an action in place of a claw attack, so that's awesome. Plus 12 to hit on the claws, 3d10 plus 5. If a creature takes damage, they make a DC 23 wisdom save, or take 46 psychic damage after each attack made against her before the start of her. Made against them. I don't know. If the target is a creature, they must succeed on a DC 13 wisdom save or take 46 psychic damage after each attack it makes against Asperia before the start of its next turn. An action is Supreme Legal Authority. Chooses up to 3 creatures within 90 feet. Each target must succeed on a DC 23 Intelligence saving throw. Or Asperia chooses an action for the target. Attack, cast a spell, dash, disengage, dodge, help, hide, ready, search, or use an object. The affected target can't take that action for 1 minute. At the end of each of the target's turns, it can end the effect on a successful DC 23 Intelligence saving throw. And then legendary actions, again, something you'll see for the Guildmasters. Claw attack, cast a spell of 3rd level or lower for 2, or activate Supreme Legal Authority for 3. We have the Law Mage, which is a CR6 creature. Wears a breastplate, has a couple of proficiencies, and is a 4th level spellcaster. This one has a little bit more in the offensive department, with Firebolt, has shield for some defense, hold person, slow, stone skin, and a quarterstaff that does minimal damage, but just a standard generic caster if you need to add one into your game as well. Then there's a precognitive mage. So precognition is the ability to see the future. So this precognitive mage here is a CR3. True Sight as a CR3 here with only 63 HP. Detect thoughts 3 times per day. Mage armor, clairvoyance, and locate object. It's a quarterstaff for basically minimal damage, but can glimpse the temporal flood. The mage targets 1 creature within 120 feet, and the target takes 48 psychic damage, and it must succeed on a DC 14 Intelligence save or be stunned. So you can just deal them the damage straight out, and then they save to see if they're stunned. And the reactions, they have precognitive insight. When the mage or a creature can attack, or it can see, makes an attack roll, saving throw, and ability check, they can cause the roll to be made with advantage or disadvantage. So disadvantage against attacks on you, or advantage on your attacks or allies. Alright, on to the Boros NPCs. So, the Angel Aurelia leads the Boros Legion. She's a CR23, celestial creature. 150 foot fly speed, so she's booking. High HP, high AC, and her stats are what you would expect for an angelic creature. Ridiculous saving throws, high insight and perception. Resistances to necrotic, radiant, bludgeoning, piercing, slashing from non-magic. Immune to poison, charmed, exhausted, frightened, paralyzed, and poisoned. True Sight. Again, legendary resistance, magic resistance. She makes 3 longsword attacks and uses leadership. Longsword attacks do 1d8 plus 8 slashing damage with a plus 15 to hit, and then plus 68 radiant damage. Leadership, she utters a few inspiring words to 1 creature within 30 feet. If that creature can hear her, it can add a d10 to its next attack roll or saving throw it makes before the start of her next turn. So she does 3 attacks and then also that every turn. She has War Leader's Helix, which is a ranged spell attack with a plus 17. To hit, does 60, or is a range of 60 feet, does 12d8 radiant damage, and she can choose another target she can see within 10 feet, and that creature gains 68 hit points. She has several reactions here. Parry to add 7 to her AC against 1 melee attack that would hit her. She has to be wielding a melee weapon. And Unyielding, when she is subjected to an effect that would move her, knock her prone, or both, she can use a reaction to basically negate that. And her legendary actions are 2 for a longsword attack. 1 is command ally. She chooses 3 creatures she can see within 30 feet. If they can see or hear her, they can immediately use their reaction to make 1 melee weapon attack with advantage. Or the 3 is frightened foes. Chooses 5 creatures within 30 feet. They must succeed on a DC 25 wisdom save or be frightened of her until the end of her next turn. Any target within 5 feet has disadvantage on the save. Then we have a Fire Fist, which seems like some sort of sword mage. 117 hit points, got plate mail. Pretty solid stats. I was gonna say mediocre, but those are pretty good. And then we have some magical ability. DC's 14 for the saves, plus 6 to hit. Firebolt, Light, Sacred Flame, Spare the Dying. Guiding Bolt, Healing Word, Heroism, Shield of Faith. Lesser Restoration, Scorching Ray, Blinding Smite, Crusader's Mantle, Revivify, Banishment, Wall of Fire, and then Flame Strike. So we've got basically a 9th level caster, so we have 5th level spells. We have a nice mixture of Paladin mixed with Cleric, mixed with a little bit of Evocation Fire based. Makes 2 great sword attacks, plus 6 to hit, 2d6 plus 3 damage, and his reaction has a guided attack, which is basically the guided strike ability of a War Cleric. When the Fire Fist or a creature within 30 feet of it makes an attack roll, Fire Fist can add 10 to that roll. And then the Frontline Medic, CR quarter, but a nice low-level healer if you need one for your game. Has Plate Mail and a shield, so an AC of 20. And then has access to Mending, Resistance, and Spare the Dying, Cure Wounds, Sanctuary, Aid, and Lesser Restoration. And then has a Spear for minimal damage, but is a pretty cool low-level healer if you wanted to add one to a campaign, or have a local physician, or something like that. Then we have a Reckoner, which is a Minotaur creature, as you can see by the image here. Seems to be another offensive evocation cleric-y type. Plate Mail, 52 hit points. Stats are pretty decent, but not anything crazy. Has advantage on initiative rolls, is a 5th level caster. Save DC of 12, plus 4 to hit. Blade Ward, Light Message, Shocking Grasp, Guiding Bolt, Shield, Thunder Wave, Witch Bolt, Blur, Levitate, and Lightning Bolt. Longsword does a d8 plus 3, only 1 attack or spell. And then reaction is Lightning Backlash. When a creature hits the Reckoner with an attack, the attacker takes lightning damage equal to half the damage dealt by the attack. This is a good way to shut down your paladins or your rogues with their sneak attack if they're unaware, and this does recharge on a 5/6, so it's limited, but still will be powerful when used. Alright, we're already into Dimir. So we have Lazav is the Guildmaster of Dimir. Only a CR 17 here for Lazav. He's a shape changer. 18 AC, 204 hit points. We do have some above average stats in dexterity, or above maximum stats in dex, intelligence, and charisma. High saving throws, proficiencies in things like deception and perception, and a very high stealth. Resistant to necrotic and psychic, immune to poison, charmed, frightened, and poison condition. Only dark vision, no true sight here. No attack roll has advantage against Lazav unless he's incapacitated, so this is clearly a high level rogue type character. Innate spellcasting with a DC 20. Detect thoughts, encode thoughts, which is something in this book we talked about. Freedom of movement and vicious mockery for 44 at will. Blur, confusion, mirror image 3 times a day. Modify memory and Rary's telepathic bond once per day. 3 legendary resistance. Sheep changer savant. He can use a bonus action to polymorph into a smaller medium humanoid he has seen. His statistics other than size remain the same. Unless he's incapacitated, he's immune to magic that allows creatures to read his thoughts, determine whether he's lying, know his alignment, or know his creature type. And they can only communicate telepathically with him if they want to. Makes 3 short sword attacks, d6 plus 7 damage with a plus 13 to hit, and does an extra 3d6 psychic damage. And the target has disadvantage on the next attack roll it makes before his next turn. And his legendary actions are an attack, a spell for 2, and shifting nightmares for 3, which he takes the form of several nightmarish creatures lashing out at all nearby. Each creature within 10 feet must make a DC 21 dex save or take 48 damage of a type chosen by him: acid, cold, fire, lightning, or necrotic. Then we have a Mind Mage, a challenge rating 5 with a 20 intelligence. Where's the Spy's Murmur, which I believe is basically the earpiece that is like a Secret Service earpiece walkie-talkie. Spells are Encode Thoughts, Friends, Charm Person, Detect Thoughts, Mage Armor, Sleep Suggestion, Dominate Person, Mass Suggestion, Modify Memory. Obviously, you can see the Mind Mage thought. The Dominate Person, the last 3 were once per day. Charm, Detect Thoughts, Mage Armor, Sleep Suggestion 3 times per day, and Encode Thoughts and Friends are at will. Has a dagger for negligible damage. Then we have a Thought Spy, which is a challenge rating 1. Has a lot of skills. This is kind of rogue-esque. Has Cunning Action. Can dash, disengage, or hide as a bonus action. Has Charm Person, Disguise Self, and Encode Thoughts at will. And Blur, Detect Thoughts in gaseous form once per day. And does not have Sneak Attack, though. 2 dagger attacks, or makes 3 ranged attacks with its daggers. For a d8 plus 2 or d4 plus 2. Golgari, we're on a roll here. We have the Golgari Guildmaster is Deverkin. There's a Deverkin Necromancer, named Jared Vod Savo, who's right here. CR22, medium undead. We have basically pretty high level stats with a 20 intelligence. Resistance to necrotic, bludgeoning, piercing, slashing from non-magic, and then immune to poison, charmed, frightened, exhaustion, paralyzed, and poison condition. Dark vision to 120. 3 legendary resistance, magic resistance, has regen, regains 25 hit points at the start of its turn. If it takes fire or radiant, this doesn't work. He starts his turn with 0 hit points. He dies only if he starts his turn with 0 hit points and doesn't regenerate. He's a 14th level caster, DC 20 on the saves, plus 12 on the spell attacks. It looks like we have some attacks here, and we have another issue where the last spell did not get tool-tipped. Acid Splash, Chill Touch, Mage Hand, Poison Spray, Prestidigitation. Excuse me. Entangle, Ray of Sickness, Sleep. Melf's Acid Arrow, Ray of Enfeeblement, Spiderweb Climb, or Spiderweb Web. Spider Climb, and then Web. Wow. Animate Dead, Plant Growth, Vampiric Touch. Blight, Giant Insect, Grasping Vine. Cloud Kill, Insect Plague, Circle of Death. Create Undead, Finger of Death, Force Cage. Spore Infusion. As a bonus action, he can cause the spores to deal 2d10 poison damage to a creature he can see within 10 feet. Looks like he's a Spore Druid, though he can choose as the DM to do 11 damage rather than rolling and having it suck. Advantage on saving throws against turn undead, and if he starts his turn at 0 hit points, he can make a con save, DC of 5 plus the damage taken, and then to drop to 1 HP instead. His multi-attack, 2 attacks, one with his Noxious Touch and the other with the Staff of Svaagthir. He can cast a spell in place of one of these attacks. The Noxious Touch is a plus 12 to hit. 8d6 poison damage. The target must make a DC 20 con save or be poisoned. Staff of Svaagthir is plus 12 to hit. 2d6 plus 5 bludgeoning, plus 3d8 poison, and 3d8 necrotics. That's 8d6 plus 5 damage. Legendary actions, Cantrip for 1. Noxious Touch for 2, and Disrupt Life for 3. This is very Lich-esque. Creature within 30 feet of Jared must make a DC 20 con save or take 10d6 necrotic damage on a fail, or half as much on a success. The Golgari Shaman is a CR5 elf humanoid with a high wisdom and decently high other stats. Fey ancestry is to be expected of elves, as is dark vision. Poison Spray, Shillelagh, Thorn Whip, Cure Wounds, Entangle, Ray of Sickness, Pass Without Trace, Ray of Enfeeblement, Spike Growth, Animate Dead, Dispel Magic, Plant Growth, Blight, and Giant Insect. So a druid-esque theme of spells. Quarterstaff for negligible damage, but Fungal Rot for plus 6 to hit. Deals 2d8 necrotic damage, and target must make a DC 14 con save or take 48 poison damage on a fail, or half on a success. And a reaction is Feed on Death. When a creature within 30 feet drops to 0 hit points, it gains 1d10 temporary. There's some lair action options here for the Golgari Swarm. And then we have Gruul NPCs. So we have Borigmos? I don't know. I guess he's the Guildmaster here. Looks like a Minotaur. Or Giant, I guess. Oh, he's a Cyclops. CR 18. Higher than normal strength and con. Resistance to poison and psychic. Immune to charm, frightened. Has tremor sense to 60 feet. Interesting. Legendary resistance. Has disadvantage on attack rolls against any target more than 30 feet away due to poor depth perception. And does double damage to objects and structures. He can use his Frightful Presence. He also has 2 attacks. One with his Maul, one with his Stomp. His Maul has 10-foot reach. Plus 13 to hit and does 66 plus 7 damage. If it's a creature, they must make a strength save of DC 21 or be knocked prone. Stomp is plus 13 to hit and 2d10 plus 7 damage. Rock is plus 13 to hit with a range of 3120, 40-10 plus 7 to hit. And then his Frightful Presence DC is 17. Legendary actions are 1 for weapon attack, 2 for bellow, which he yells menacingly at a creature within 60 feet. They must make a wisdom save or be frightened. If they're already frightened, they become stunned and can repeat the save at the end of each of their turns. Or Wide Berth for 3. He moves up to half his speed and can move through the space of any creature smaller than huge. First time he enters a creature's space during this move, that creature must make a DC 21 Dex save. If the save succeeds, they're pushed 5 feet away. If it fails, they're knocked prone and he can make a stomp attack against them. Anarch looks like a goblin sort of creature. Challenge rating a quarter. Bonus action can move half its speed towards a hostile creature. Does double damage to structures. Has a spiked club for a D8 plus 2 or a D10 plus 2. We have the Druid of the Old Ways, which is a humanoid creature. 20 wisdom, no immunities or resistances, but decent perception and saving throws. Double damage against objects and structures, can speak with beasts and plants. It's a 12th level spellcaster with a DC of 16 and plus 8 to hit. Druidcraft, produce flame resistance, thorn whip, cure wounds, fairy fire, thunder wave, beast sense, flame blade, pass without trace, conjure animals, dispel magic, plant growth, dominate beast, freedom of movement, wall of fire, commune with nature, conjure elementals, scrying, transfer via plants, and wall of thorns. A massive, powerful druid spell list, and a quarterstaff for negligible damage. We have the Rubble Belt Stalker, which is sort of a scout creature. And a humanoid, challenge rating of a half. Not nothing too crazy, stealth of +4. If it's the first round of combat, they have advantage on initiative rolls on any creature that hasn't attacked. Can disengage or hide as a bonus action. Has advantage on stealth checks baited in ruins. Double damage against objects and structures, and a short sword for negligible damage. Alright, we're on to Izzet. This is where we're going to have the, probably, I think, the highest CR monster here. Which we have Niv Mizzet, who is basically a dragon, and has a challenge rating 26. So you can see the dragon right here. 80-foot climb speed, ridiculously high strength, con, intelligence, and charisma. And a decent high saves in those departments. Resistance to cold, psychic, thunder, immune to fire, lightning, and the charm condition, blind sight, and dark vision. Legendary resistance, can maintain concentration on 2 spells at once. Has advantage on saving throws to maintain concentration. Magic resistance, if you cast a spell that deals damage, you can change damage type to cold, fire, force, lightning, or thunder. Always force is the answer, unless it's a helmed horror. 20th level spellcaster, DC 26 on the save, plus 18 to hit. This is going to be a long one. Firebolt, light, prestidigitation, ray of frost, shocking grasp. Detect magic, magic missile, shield, thunder wave, unseen servant. Blur, enlarge, reduce, flaming sphere, scorching ray. Counterspell, fireball, hold person, lightning bolt, slow. Confusion, dimension, door, fabricate. Conjure elemental, polymorph, wall of fire, wall of force, chain lightning, disintegrate, true seeing, project image, reverse gravity, teleport, control weather, maze, power word, stun, prismatic wall. Basically a wizard, and you do not want to fight this guy. Makes 3 attacks, one with his bite, one with his claws. The bite is 15-foot reach, plus 17 to hit, 2d8 plus 9 piercing damage, plus 46 fire damage. Claws, similar attack bonus. Reach is 10 feet, 2d4 plus 9. Tail is a reach of 20 feet for 2d6 plus 9. And fire breath, because he is still a dragon. 90-foot cone, DC 25 dex save, or take 26d6 fire damage. And as legendary actions, 1, cast a cantrip. 1, use a tail attack. 2 is the wing attack of most dragons. Creatures within 15 feet must make a DC 15 dex save, or take 2d4 plus 9 bludgeoning damage and be knocked prone. And then it can move up to half its speed. In Dracogenesis, it regains a slot, costs 3, regains a spell slot of 3rd level or lower. That's ridiculous. Alright. We have a Cosmotronic Blast Seeker, which is basically a fireball machine. CR 4, powered spell, rolls damage for a spell 3 times per day, can reroll 4 dice, must use the new dice. DC 14 on the spells, plus 6 on the spell attacks, Scorching Ray, Shield, Thunder Wave, and Fireball. Has Tides of Chaos, a little wild magic here. Makes 1 attack roll, ability check or saving throw with advantage. Warhammer for negligible damage. Counterflux Blast Seeker. I think this one's a little weaker here. Recharge on 5 or 6. The Blast Seeker can create an immediate effect depending on immediately after casting a spell. Roll a d6 to determine the effect. 1 to 3 creates a 15-foot radius invisible sphere centered on itself that lasts until the end of its next turn. Creatures in the sphere have disadvantage on saving throws against spells and other magical effects. 4 to 6, we have a 15-foot visible sphere centered on itself that lasts until the end of the next turn. Creatures in the sphere have advantage on saving throws against spells and other magical effects. Innate spellcasting of a 14 DC plus 6 to hit. Enlarge, reduce, mage armor, self only. Scorching Ray 3 times per day. And counterspell, dispel magic, protection from energy once per day. And a rapier for a moderate 1d8 plus 3 damage. Then we have a Flux Blast Seeker, challenge rating 5. Flux Bending Overcast, regains that on a 5/6. Can create an additional effect immediately after casting a spell, roll a d6. 1 to 3, swapping places with the creature you can see within 30 feet, or each creature within 10 feet of it must make a DC 16 con save or take 2d10 thunder damage. Spells are 3 times per day, Mage Armor, Scorching Ray, once per day, Banishment, Cone of Cold, Dimension, Door, Fireball, and Ice Storm. Then a weak little quarterstaff attack. We have the Galvanic Blast Seeker, which is another... Did we just do that one? Nope, I guess it's just similar sounding names. CR 5, resistances to lightning and thunder. When they cast lightning bolt or thunder wave, it can roll a die. On an odd number, the Blast Seeker takes 2d8 4 damage. On an even, they deal an extra 2d8 lightning damage to each target that fails to save. That recharges on a 5/6. That's not an action, that's just a thing. Heart of the Storm, when they cast lightning bolt or thunder wave, all creatures within 10 feet of the Blast Seeker take 3 lightning damage. 15 DC plus 7 to hit, Levitate, Lightning Bolt, Thunder Wave, Stone Skin. And can use a bonus action to fly up to 10 feet without provoking attacks of opportunity. This is a Storm Sorcerer. Excuse me. Sphere for negligible damage. And a Scorchbringer Guard. Looks like another goblin here. When a guard dies, roll, or if it rolls a 1 when checking whether its Scorchbringer action recharges, the tank on its back explodes in a 10-foot radius sphere. Each creature in the area must succeed on a DC 12 Dexterity saving throw, taking 2d6 fire damage and a failed save, or half on a success. The explosion ignites flammable objects that aren't being worn or carried and destroys the Scorchbringer. Light Hammer, but the main thing we want to see for this is the Scorchbringer. Recharge on a 4/6. Spouts stream of flame in a line that's 30 feet long, 5 feet wide. Must make a DC 12 Dex save or take 2d6 fire damage or half on a success. We're on to the Orzhov NPCs. We have Obzedat Ghost, who looks to be the Guildmaster, I believe. Maybe not. Nope. I guess these are ghosts. So, Undead, 14 natural armor plus 1 for each other Obzedat Ghost within 30 feet. Perception, resistance to acid, cold, fire, lightning, thunder, bludgeoning, piercing, slashing from non-magic. Immune to necrotic and poison. Immune to charmed, exhaustion, grappled, paralyzed, petrified, poisoned, prone, restrained. Has dark vision. Has a trait based on who it was or who it is, as shown on the table below. If it's Inesescu, it's got array of enfeeblement at will. If it's Fautomni, it's got undead fortitude, where if it drops to 0, it makes a save DC 5 plus the damage taken to get a 1 hit point. Karlov, Unnatural Vigor. When Karlov regains hit points, he has advantage on rolls he makes until on his next turn. Vuliev's Teleportation, can cast Misty Step at will. Zil Zaxos is the Lingering Spite. It's reduced to 0 hit points. His incorporeal form explodes in a burst of necrotic energy. Each creature within 5 feet must make a DC 16 con save or take 46 necrotic damage. Ethereal Sight, the ghost can see 60 feet into the ethereal plane. Incorporeal Movement, the ghost can move through other creatures and objects if it was difficult to terrain. Takes 1d10 force damage if it ends its turn inside an object. Innate Spellcaster is a DC 16 plus 8 to hit. Chill Touch at will, cast as a 5th level caster. And once per day, Sanctuary Spirit Guardians at 4th level. Legendary Resistance, 1. Actions is Life Drain, plus 8 to hit, similar to some higher level undead have this. Does 40 necrotic damage, the ghost regains hit points equal to half the damage dealt. Target must make a DC 13 con save, or its hit point maximum is reduced by an amount equal to the damage taken. Target dies if its hit point maximum is reduced to 0. The reduction to the target's hit point maximum lasts until the target finishes a long rest. Convene the Ghost Council. The ghost summons the other members of the Obzedat. At the start of the ghost's turn, the other members appear in unoccupied spaces within 30 feet of the summoner. The ghosts each roll initiative, and then they appear. In legendary actions, we have Forced Obedience. Target all the Obzedat ghosts you can see within what you can see must succeed on a DC 16 Wisdom save or bow until the end of its next turn. Bow until this bow ends, the target can't take actions or reactions, and its speed is reduced to 0 and can't be increased. Or for 3, you can do Indentured Spirits. The odds of that ghost conjures 1d6 Indentured Spirits within 60 feet of them. On to Rakdos. So we have Rakdos, who is a CR24 Fiend. Comes with Fiendish style resistances of Necrotic, Bludgeoning, Piercing, Slashing from non-magic, immunity to Fire, Poison, Charmed, Exhausted, Frightened, and Poison Condition. True sight of 120 feet. Any creature that starts its turn within 30 feet of the Rakdos must make a DC 25 Wisdom save. On a fail, become Charmed. Cruel Entertainment. When a creature Rakdos can see within 60 feet of him is reduced to 0 hit points, he gains 25 temporary hit points. He can cast Hellish Rebuke with a DC of 25 at will. 3 legendary resistance, magic resistance. His attacks are considered magical. Multi-attack, he can make 2 attacks with his Curtain Call Scythe or his Claws. The Curtain Call Scythe is a plus 15 to hit, 10-foot range, 3d10 plus 8 slashing damage plus 3d8 fire. Where the Claw is 15, 10-foot reach, and just 2d8 plus 8. Legendary actions, we have Sadistic Revelry. Each creature within 60 feet of Rakdos that is an ally, that is his ally or is charmed by him, will succeed on a reaction to move up to half its speed towards the creature closest to that it can see, provided it isn't already within 5 feet of another creature. If that must make one melee, it then must make one melee attack against the creature. It's able to do so. Scythe attack for 2 actions and Touch of Pain for 3. Target against a creature within 10 feet. Target must succeed on a DC 25 con save or be poisoned for a minute. Or poison, they can't blah blah blah, and it'll end at the end of their turn if they repeat the save. We have a Blood Witch, who is a CR7. The Witch can use a bonus action to control the movement of one creature cursed by its Hex spell that it can see within 30 feet. The creature must succeed on a DC 15 Charisma saving throw, or use its reaction to move up to 30 feet in a direction to the Witch's choice, or of the Witch's choice. Can see in magical darkness, plus 15 DC, or DC 15 plus 7 to hit. At will, alter self, detect magic, Eldritch Blast at 11th level, False Life, Levitate self only, Mage Armor self only. Once per day, Circle of Death, Enthrall, Suggestion, and then 3 times per day, Hellish Rebuke, Hex, Scorching Ray at 3rd level. Makes 2 attacks, one with its long sword, one with its short sword, and those do moderate damage. Plus 6 to hit. We have the Rakdos Lampooner, which is a CR2 creature. Is a spellcaster, DC of 14, plus 6 to hit. Dancing Lights, Minor Illusion, Vicious Mockery, Bane, Dissonant Whispers, Silent Image, Tasha's Hideous Laughter, Thunderwave, Crown of Madness, Enthrall, Suggestion, and a club that does basically nothing. The Rakdos Performer looks like some sort of Fire Eater or something like that, or a Bard. CR1, you can take the Disengage action as a bonus action. Performer is a type of Performer, whether Jug or Fire Eater or whatnot. Makes 3 dagger attacks, so D4 plus 3. Fire Eater actions, that's the Blade Juggler. The Fire Eater makes 2 attacks with its Bladed Chain, which do a D6 plus 3. It can spew flame in a 15-foot cone, making a DC 13 Dex save or taking 2d8 fire damage. The High Wire actions can make 2 attacks with its Barbed Pole, which do a D8 plus 3. And the Acrobat can jump up to 20 feet. So, doesn't provoke attacks of opportunity. Almost there, guys. Judith the Scourge Diva, Rakdos Carnival. Alright, Selesnya NPCs. We get this cool image here with maybe a halfling or an elf on this big ass wolf. Trostani is a fae. This must be the Guildmaster for Selesnya. Higher than average wisdom. 30 wisdom, holy shit. 25 charisma. Immunity to charm and grapple, dark vision, DC 24 spellcasting ability. At will dispel magic and druidcraft 3 times per day. Bless, conjure animals, giant insect, moonbeam, plant growth, spike growth, suggestion, and once per day conjure fae and mass cure wounds. 3 legendary resistance, magic resistance. Weapons are magic and can talk to beasts and animals. You can use 10 feet of their movement to step into a tree and appear to any other tree within 60 feet. 3 actions are a multi-attack. Constrict and Touch of Order, and cast 1 spell with a casting time of 1 action. Constrict. Plus 11 to hit, 3d6 plus 5 bludgeoning damage, and the target is grappled. Till the grappled end, the target is restrained. Tristani can grapple no more than 3 targets at a time. Touch of Order is a plus 16 to hit, does 3d8 plus 10 radiant damage. And Tristani chooses one magic item she can see in the target's possession. Unless it's an artifact, the item's magic is suppressed until the start of Tristani's next turn. And then the Wrath of Mat Selesnya is a recharge on 5/6. Tristani conjures a momentary whirl of branches and vines at a point she can see within 60 feet. Each creature in a 30-foot cube on that point must make a DC 24 Dexterity save, taking 66 bludgeoning and 66 slashing on a failed save for half as much on success. Legendary actions. Voice of Harmony Tristani makes one attack roll with advantage. Voice of Life. Tristani bestows 20 hit points on a creature she can see within 120 feet. Voice of Order is Dispel Magic. Course of the Conclave. 2 actions. The Tristani casts Suggestion to count as one of her daily uses of the spell, which is for 2 actions. And 3 is Awaken Grove Guardians. Animates 1 or 2 trees within 120 feet, causing them to uproot and become awakening trees. They last for 1 minute or until Tristani uses a bonus action to end the effect. They understand Druidic and obey Tristani's spoken commands, but can't speak. If she issues no commands to them, the trees do nothing but take the dodge action. Horncaller, CR1 NPC here. Bless and conjure animals. Can communicate with beasts as though they share a language. Make 2 attacks and use 1 with the World Soul. Staff kind of sucks. 1 with the World Soul, the Horncaller chooses 1 beast it can see within 30 feet. If the beast can hear the Horncaller, the beast uses its reaction to make 1 melee attack against a target that the Horncaller can see. We're on to Simic. I believe this is the end here. Zagana, which is some sort of cool mermaid lionfish creature. Merfolk. Highest stat is an intelligence of 20. Resistance to cold and poison. Dark vision. Breathe water and air. Has 3 legendary resistance. Has magic resistance. 15th level spellcaster with a DC of 18 and plus 10 to hit. We have Acid Splash, Druidcraft, Ray of Frost, Shape Water, Color Spray, Expeditious Retreat, Fog Cloud Shield, Enlarge, Reduce, Gust of Wind, Counterspell, Fly, Slow, Control Water, Ice Storm, Polymorph, Conjure Elemental, Creation, Move Earth, Wall of Ice, Prismatic Spray, Teleport, Control Weather, and Dominate Monster. Prime Speaker Trident is a plus 10 to hit. 20 to 60 throw range, does 2d6 plus 5, and the trident emits a thunderous boom. Each creature within a 15-foot cube originating from the prongs of the trident must make a DC 18 con save. On a failed save, the creature takes 2d8 thunder damage and is pushed 10 feet away from Zagana. If the creature is underwater, the damage is increased to 3d8. On a successful save, the creature takes half as much damage as pushed. Deluge happens on a 4 to 6. Zagana conjures up a wave of water that crashes down on an area within 120 feet. The area can be up to 30 feet long, 10 feet wide, and up to 10 feet tall. Each creature in that area must make a DC 18 Dexterity saving throw. On a fail, they take 48 bludgeoning damage and are knocked prone. On a success, they take half damage and aren't knocked prone. The water spreads out across the ground, extinguishing unprotected flames it can come in contact with, and then vanishes. Legendary actions are for 1. Gains resistance to 1 type of damage of her choice, acid, fire, lightning, or thunder. The start of her next turn. Trident, melee attack. 2 to enlarge on herself. Enlarge or reduce on herself. And 3, deluge if available. The next up is the final NPC is the Biomancer, a CR10 creature, so a little powerful in Splint Mail. They magically emanates life-giving energy within 30 feet. An ally of the Biomancer that starts its turn there gains 1d10 hit points. Biomancer has advantage on saving throws against spells and other magical effects. And let's see, 16th level spellcaster, DC 17, plus 9 to hit on the spell attacks. Acid Splash, Light, Mending, Poison Spray, Shocking Grasp, Detect Magic, Grease, Shield, Alter Self, Dark Vision, and Large Reduce, Hold Person. Counterspell, Dispel Magic, Haste Production from Energy, Infusion, Conjure Minor Elementals, Polymorph, Cone of Cold, Creation, Hold Monster, Move Earth, Wall of Ice, Prismatic Spray, Control Weather, and a Scimitar that does negligible damage. So there you have it, guys. In 40 minutes, I went through every single NPC that was in the back of the Ravnica book. If you're curious to see what new monsters are, check out my What's New to Guildmasters Guide to Ravnica video. I've also done something on the races, and very shortly, possibly out by the time you're seeing this, I will have one for the Order Domain Cleric and one for the Sports Druid. Hope you guys enjoyed this content, and I'll see you next time.